What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Sporgo. And after making that video yesterday about the spreadsheet regarding the materials that you actually need to fully max out a character, I thought I'd go ahead and start working on another spreadsheet for you. And that one regards Phantom Pain Cage. And I'll probably end up doing this for Warzone as well, but today's all about Phantom Pain Cage. And the reason for this is, we have all these different bosses that have different advantages and disadvantages against them. I think it's really good for the player base to know which characters and which teams are actually the best for these, so that way they can get the most points. You can see that right now I'm in the top 1% and I'm in the advanced 70 to 100. So, the methods that I use definitely work, and it's definitely methods that other players use as well. And it's really important to do well in Phantom Pain Cage, so that way you can get these Phantom Pain scars. And these babies are really important, so that way you can level up your S rank characters. When you jump into this shop, this is where you're actually going to be able to level up your S ranks. Like very soon we're going to have S Bianca, and this is where you're going to farm for shards for her, unless you're pulling dupes for her in the banners, which a lot of people are not, right? If you're free to play, more than likely you got 15,000 black cards, maybe you got 20,000, whatever, but you're just going to go to that pity one time, unless you get really lucky and get her early on, to try to get shards for her. So this is where people are normally going to be farming for their shards, and it does take a long time. So the more of these Phantom Pain scars you get, the higher points that you score, the better off you're going to be. And as far as the spreadsheet, this is what I've come up with so far, and I try to keep this thing as simple as possible. I didn't want to overcomplicate it, but in Punishing Gray Raven, in all honesty, depending on your gameplay and how you have your memory set with characters, there's a lot of characters that can do super well, but these are the best team compositions for these particular Phantom Pain Cages. And as we get more Phantom Pain Cages, I'll go ahead and add those in here as well and set up other teams for them as well. But the first team that we got here is Alpha, right? Everybody knows that Alpha is the largest burst damage dealing character in the game currently, and she is 100% physical. And the same with Knobby, and the same with B-Liv. These characters are massive, and B-Liv's just number one because once you get her triple S, she's going to give it an extra 10% physical damage. She's just nuts for this. And as you can see, I also got the slots noted for you where you want to put them in a slot. So in this first team composition's case, you'd have Knobby in the blue slot, you'd have Alpha in the leadership, and then you'd have B-Liv in the yellow, right? And the reason for that is this team is going to be the best for Phantom Pain Cage, not for Warzone, not for other game modes, but for Phantom Pain Cage, because the idea in Phantom Pain Cage is to end the fight as fast as possible. So you're trying to do one-shots. You're trying to end this thing as quickly as possible, and Alpha is really amazing for that. And so that's why we have the team composition set up this way, because the way we have our memory set up, we have the Richelieu, we have the Voltaire, we have the Phillips set. All of these either apply a debuff to physical damage, or they increase Alpha's physical damage, right? And because all these memories are going to be buffing her up, on top of the 10% extra physical damage that you get at triple S when you have B-Liv at triple S, and then Knobby along with her blue orbs, using the Catherine set that's going to decrease the physical defenses of the boss, this is going to be your best physical damage dealing team. You can see I have Roland, Vasco, and Iron Maiden. Now against Roland, your physical damage is increased, so your physical damage dealing teams are going to do the best. Dark damage is actually reduced when you face this guy. So if you're using a dark team, you see I got my dark characters right here. It says bad. That means they are terrible for this boss because he is resistant to dark damage. Vasco here, whenever you use a lightning character, and this is where Bianca's really going to shine, is you get an increase to your lightning damage. Like, lightning damage does more damage to Vasco, and dark damage actually does more damage to Iron Maiden. So your dark team for Iron Maiden is going to be number one, your lightning team for Vasco is going to be number one, and your physical damage dealing team is going to be number one for Roland. So, that's why Alpha is going to be number one. And I just had the best teams available currently in global on this spreadsheet. As time goes by, this is going to change. There's going to be some meta changes and some character changes in here. But right now, Alpha is the number one. She's always going to be the number one for physical for the most part until the Nier collab comes in this game, which is a long ways away, and you got to level up Nier like crazy to get them to where they're actually better. So we'll see how that plays out in the future. Now, and you'll notice that I have two different team compositions here for both Alpha and both for Dark Watanabe. And the reason being is, this team here is really set up just for simply one shots. But maybe you don't have the Frederick set. The Frederick set does an extreme amount of burst damage, increasing all of your all attack by doing 3 dodges. It just does an insane amount of burst damage. So if you have the Frederick set, I would highly advise you using it when you're doing your one-shots. But if you don't have it, a lot of people are going to have the patent memory set with the 2 Darwins for alpha. And if that is the case, then this is probably how you'd want your memories set up. You can still do it this same way. You can still set up your characters the same way here, or you can set them up here. It's really a matter of opinion how you want to play. But that's how I would do it, because the thing is, like, you're trying to apply as many debuffs as possible when you do a one shot. And if you're using the Frederick, you just want to do it in one time. Whereas the patent doesn't do as much burst damage, but it does consistent damage throughout. So you could easily have alpha in there, just keep her in there, keep striking, and then bring in B-Liv, do the Da Vinci, bring in the QT for Beatonomy, and then apply these multiple debuffs in here from the Voltaire and the Catherine set. I mean, it's just going to work out. If alpha's going to be in there for a good little while, and you're using the patent set, I think this is going to be the best way to go. If you're using the Frederick set, this is going to be the best way to go as far as ending the fight as fast as possible. Again, this is just against Pain Cage, so you can score the highest points possible. Now, with Dark Watanabe, it's kind of a similar situation. With Dark Watanabe, if you're trying to do one-shots, you're going to want to use A-Liv here, and you're going to want to use S. Kamui. Now, S. Kamui has that dark damage. He's going to synergize really, really well with Watanabe. But if you notice on Kamui for the one-shots, because here's the thing. Whatever you use in this team, you're just going to play with Dark Watanabe. That's it. You're not going to play with any other characters. And the reason for this is kind of similar to what we did earlier here. Is, Kamui's going to apply the ice in this set, right? He's going to do a little dark damage when he comes in and strikes. But we have a lot more debuffs on A-Liv. We can apply him a lot more elemental resistance down with the Gloria and the Einstein set, similar to what we're doing up here with the Voltaire and the Phillips and the Richelieu, right? We're getting a lot more debuffs by doing it this way. So if you're going to play with A Watanabe or Dark Watanabe throughout the entire fight, this would probably be the better way to go. However, if you're going to be switching to S. Kamui and using him as a sub DPS, then this is the best way to go in my opinion. Having having A-Liv with the Einstein and the Da Vinci set, and then having S. Kamui with the Hannah sets, because every time he does a 3 ping, he does dark damage, which is exactly what you want against Iron Maiden, and then have the Einstein set. And all these debuffs will stack on top of each other. And then for Watanabe, it's really a matter of opinion. People like to use them sometimes either with 2 Darwins and 4 Bathlons, or they like to use them with 4 Bathlons and 2 Coddies. So it's really just a matter of opinion how you prefer to play. If you like doing your signature more often, then obviously you're going to want the Coddies into play. But I do think the Darwins do more damage, but it's going to require a bit more skill when you're playing with them. Now, for this last team, which is not finished by any means, because we don't have the Kingdom Come that's coming in a couple days, which is Bianca. Now, Bianca will be the main DPS character for your lightning damage dealing team, but as far as I can tell right now, we're going to be using Karenina for her leadership, and we're going to be using A-Liv also, because A-Liv is a lightning-based character for the most part, so she's going to really synergize with Bianca. And later down the road, we're going to be getting other characters that's going to help out our lightning-based team. But this is how it's going to start. And I will update as soon as Bianca shows up in the game, play with her a little bit, kind of learn the ropes with her, and see what really is the best team compositions. This isn't set in stone. I mean, A-Liv is set in stone, but I'm not really sure about A. Karenina just yet, but I think she probably will be. And I will have this spreadsheet in my Discord, and I will have the link to it in the description below if you want to check it out, if it might help you out. And I will make one for War Zones also. So hopefully this will help some of you out there. Again, I will be adding more pain cages on here. We will be adding more characters. And if you guys want the secondary characters, the characters like Lucia Dawn, characters like S. Lee. I mean, there are other characters that you can absolutely use. I mean, if you're not using Alpha, then you're going to want to use S. Lee. All right, you want to use characters that have a lot of physical damage on your physical damage dealing team. And for your lightning base, obviously, if you don't have Bianca, then you're going to want to use Lucia Dawn. And for your dark team, there are no substitutes for Dark Watanabe and S. Kamui. They are the Kingdom Come. Currently in Global until Luna shows up in the game, which is months away. So all the links for Discord, Twitch, and the spreadsheets will be in the description below. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT plus 7 time. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.